Hi guys, so this review is on the much talked about ambient powders by Hourglass. Ooh, nice reflection there. So there's the packaging, as you can see. It's quite beautiful, although it's very light, very lightweight, which I was a little bit surprised about because I don't know if I'll have already uploaded my Burberry video before or after this or whatever, but I do like, you know, for me, if it's going to be a luxury product, I like there to be some weight and some heft to it. That's why I do love the Burberry packaging so much, although they're probably a bitch to travel with, but oh well, you can't win them all, right? So these are really quite light, and obviously the reason is these are sort of plastic, even though it sort of has a metallic finish, and the Burberry are actually metal encased. So enough about the packaging. It is quite streamlined and nice, and the whole philosophy behind these, I guess, I don't know, you know, a heck of a lot, but they're supposed to give you sort of the same effect, you know, obviously with different ambient lights, you know, candlelight, moonlight, you know, not sunlight. That would be kind of weird. I think you'd need a lot of powder to mimic sunlight. But anyways, so they're supposed to sort of give you that kind of lit from within, very sort of diffused lighting, kind of soft focusing your face. And they do have quite a few shades. I think maybe they have around 6. Don't quote me on that. 5, 6. Something like that. I think they usually do even numbers, not odd. So I'm thinking around 6. I did take a look at all of them. I actually think there was one that was more of a corrector powder, which I don't really know what the purpose of that is, because I think powders aren't really going to correct a lot, because you want them to be sort of finely milled and light. So they're kind of too light to correct, and if they do correct, then they're really mofo heavy. So why would you use a powder? I'd much rather use like a concealer or cream based, so I can use very little bit to correct. And then, well, anyways, you know what I'm talking about. So I chose Dim. The others I just found probably wouldn't work so well when I sort of swatched them, and I did hear quite a lot about this one. So I sort of went ahead. It was sold out for quite a while. It took me a little bit, and I kept going back to Sephora, kept going back, and it took about a month for them to sort of restock it. So that's what it looks like there. Are they the most finely milled thing? No, they're really not. You know, in fact, that's the first time I've ever actually physically touched it, because I don't tend to swatch a lot of things once I get them at home. And when I swatch them at Sephora and places, there's so many fingers that have been in it that I don't really think I get the true effect, because sometimes it gets a little bit of a film over it, whatever. So is it the softest feeling thing? No. Like I said with the Kevin O'Quan, I don't know if that video's up yet or not, but that is like running your hand along butter. It's just so creamy and silky and soft, and it's the most amazing thing you'll ever feel. This isn't quite like that, but I actually really love this product. I don't know how it does it, what it does. I mean, obviously there's a lot of light reflecting going on, but I think it's so finely milled that you can't actually see any of those particles, because nobody wants that effect, and then somebody comes in for a smooch and all of a sudden you're a bit of a glitter fest with all of these like light reflecting flecks all over your face. You don't see it in sunlight. You know, you do see, I will say this, you know, sometimes you'll see this one odd little sort of reflecting fleck that maybe kind of, you know, got away from the grinders or whatever. So I have noticed like one odd rogue little thing, but it's not on your whole face. So it does give, it sort of mattifies. Not that I look for that, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know because you're new to the channel or you don't watch all my videos, which is probably a good thing. Anyways, so I just find that for my skin, because I'm older now and really quite dry, I don't need to powder anything. I like having a dewy sort of, you know, borderline sweaty look. I guess it kind of works for me because I've got so many bones and angles on my face, so I don't like to sort of powder that all flat. I do need some reflection there, so it will mattify it in the way that you don't really have a lot of shine, but it's not going to stop the oiliness. But what it does do, it just gives you this beautiful sort of diffused halo effect, you know, like as though somebody put Vaseline on the lens of a camera and you just sort of have this soft focus effect. It kind of detracts from any, you know, like hard things that you're not necessarily wanting to showcase on your face. And I use it with this brush. I use it with a big fluffy brush. This happens to be the Scott Barnes powder brush. That's one of the softest brushes you'll ever feel. Unfortunately, he's discontinued his line, so I don't know if you can find this. Although you may find Scragglers, just like strawberry.net or places like that. And I literally, that's about it. And I just do that. That's all I use. I really don't use a lot because I don't really like a lot of powder. I don't know if you can see that it's sort of calmed down some of the, oh, yikes, some of the greasiness and shine, because I'm in a hot room and I've been filming like gazillion videos, and by gazillion I mean 5 so far. So you can see that it did sort of calm down, but I still have a bit of a dewy look. I'm not sort of like matted down a lot, but mind you, I don't use a lot of the powder, so I guess you could get a little bit more of a matte effect if you tended to use more, but that's not really the purpose of this. It's not to mattify. It's in actuality it's supposed to give you a glow, so so it kind of defeats the purpose to use something like this. But I do find, because I use oils underneath things, and then I use a very, very heavy sunscreen, I'm very, very shiny and very wet looking, so this does mattify enough for me, just because most people don't walk around with an oil slick like I do, but my skin loves it and it needs that level of hydration. So I think it was $37 Canadian, roughly around that, so around 40-ish. You get 10 grams, so you know it's a healthy amount for sure. And again, it sort of looks like that, really sort of a neutral. There were ones that looked much darker, yellower, pinker. There was a whole bunch of shades. So I definitely don't regret purchasing this at all, and I think that you would actually really, really like it. I think it does give you a really, really nice effect. I don't know about reapplication because I don't reapply this. I've heard that sometimes you tend to look greasier and greasier because when you reapply and you keep doing that, for some reason maybe the light reflecting just starts compounding on top of each other and you kind of tend to look a little bit more shiny. I can't speak about that because I only do it that one time and then I leave the house, because I'm just not a reapplier of anything. Not my eyeliners, not anything except for my lips, really. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful, and I will talk to you soon.